Hey, let me know if you can hear me. This is Renee Greneman. I help people with complicated personal lives chase their passions outside the home without fear of overwhelm or burnout. And in particular, I love helping parents who have children with advocacy needs because I feel like we are the people who are recognizing that all the systems do not work and are breaking the systems and shifting us to a more inclusive world. I just want to know if you see me, can you hear me? Because I am attempting to use a microphone rather than just the phone today. So if you tune in, please let me know that this is not all in vain. My indicator looks like it's working, but let me know. For our Important Conversations monthly book club, which happens the first Monday of every month, we are just wrapping up the book, The Canary Code by Dr. Ludmila Praslova. Maybe mispronouncing her name, but Dr. Praslova has written this book. She is an HR professional, and she likes to talk about how people who are neurodivergent are like the canary in the coal mine. Okay, so the argument is that we live in a lot of toxic work environments, and that the people that are most susceptible to stress, the people like neurodivergent individuals who tend to kind of respond to the stress the earliest, are going to give us the earliest indication that our work environments are not working, that something bad is happening in them. And I just love this analogy because that makes this an argument that this is not special needs in the old way of labeling it, but instead it is people with a more sensitive nervous system being the first ones to let you know something is not right here, but it's going to affect everyone eventually, right? So I love this framing, absolutely. So instead of trying to blame the individuals who are showing the signs of stress first, or trying to fix them in any way, she recommends that we actually listen to them and that we actually build an environment that, for her, this inclusivity is actually building it for everyone, equally, which is kind of, honestly, the way we need to go, right? Let me know if you agree. But basically, she talks about dignity being a core value in these workspaces. So if we actually hold everyone equally, if we actually trust their experiences and what they are telling us about their needs, then we are going to actually create an environment where we can benefit from everyone's skills. And I will tell you, as a mother of someone with advocacy needs, there are so many skills that we are leaving untapped if we do not create environments where these individuals can thrive in, right? So one of the proposals she makes in this book, which I absolutely love, and my brain that, I was an engineer in the past. I worked in a Fortune 50 company, and my brain instantly is kind of confined a little bit by those old standards. I'm like, oh, how would that work? That's very intriguing. But how does that really work, right? So what she talks about is organizations who actually take an interest and actually ask people for what they need. Like if someone has seasonal affective disorder and they say, hey, I am not going to do well if you put me in the middle of cubicle land, I need a window, then you actually just trust them and give them a window. If somebody says, hey, all of this open door policy is getting in my way because I feel like my nervous system is constantly being triggered by interruptions, I can't get deep work done, then we trust them and we create environments. Even if everyone exists in cubicle land, we have special spaces where there's low activity, low sensory inputs, where anybody, whether they're neurodivergent or not, can enter the space and use it. And you start finding that really everybody kind of likes some of these things. If the work environment's one where you're supposed to get together and hang out and go golfing and go for drinks after work, but that doesn't work for an individual, is it fair to not promote them? So she actually talks even about shifting to more of a strengths and skills based, like actually naming what needs to be done and measuring by that rather than measuring by some of these soft standards that don't necessarily work for everyone. I mean, I myself, as an introvert, I don't, and as somebody who just doesn't do these things, I don't enjoy those types of environments. I don't want to be expected to go to these types of events, etc. Right? So once again, this truly does help everyone to just trust people about what their needs are and to shift to what is actually important, a goals-based and an effort-based and strengths-based kind of approach to evaluating people. She even talks about wild ideas, right, of like shared leadership. And I can relate to that. Like when I ran a yoga studio, my partner and I had very different skill sets. It was a lovely experience leading a space in that way. I am not the best person at the super soft skills. I'm definitely not the best person at advertising type things, at creating beautiful aesthetics, but I am really good at putting systems in place. I'm really good at seeing the gaps and making sure that things are done well. And so my partner and I were really complementary by sharing the leadership. We actually had a more broad spectrum of leadership needs for the people who are working with us to feel comfortable in. So I love some of the concepts in this book. I'm just going to look over at my notes here. She talks about dignity as a core value. She talks about neurodivergent wisdom, like watching what's happening for neurodivergent individuals in the workforce as a source of systemic wisdom, because it will tell you something about how the system is working for everyone. It talks about really recognizing the unique gifts of people who are neurodivergent. For example, she talks about gifts in fairness and working hard that shouldn't be abused or taken advantage of in any way, but also to recognize that these are not shortcomings in an individual either. And sometimes workspaces can consider these shortcomings. Very interesting, right? She argues that toxic workplaces harm everyone, and she says that we should be thinking about fixing the environment instead of the person. Have you ever been in, like I remember from my corporate days, being in meetings with bosses, being told that I should be interacting in certain ways, talking to people in certain ways. I was told that I wasn't being taken as seriously because of how I was communicating at different points. And all of these things put, like, it's not necessary to the job pressure on the person, right? Like there may be some people who are better at some of these soft skills and some people who are better at other skills, and that's okay. And if we shift the environment, we just bring out the best that person has to offer, right? Let's see, what else are we talking about here? Self-advocacy, community building. So she talks about how communities must build support structures so that this burden isn't placed solely on the individual. And so anyway, this book was amazing. I chose to bring it into our book club because Important Conversations is about marginalized communities, but this book in particular because I am raising a young adult right now and recognizing that work systems are often not built for these individuals. In fact, the statistic she presents in this book is that 86% of college-educated autistic individuals are unemployed or underemployed. And that's insane. And that says everything, because here's people who were able to get through college and who because the work environments are built in toxic ways and high pressure ways, just can't sustain in those toxic systems, but can sustain when they're allowed to work from home or different, it shouldn't even be accommodations, she argues. We talk accommodations, but it shouldn't be accommodations. It should just be company-wide, just allowing the individual to say, hey, this is how I'm going to work best for you. And then watching that when we create these changes, when we trust the individual, you end up getting the best work out of them. Like, isn't that kind of unique, unfortunately, in our work environments? Anyway, so let me know what you think about this. I'm happy to run this book club a second time if there's individuals interested. I do think that this is an amazing way to start thinking if you are a business owner. And definitely as a parent, I was reading it as well, because I was thinking about, well, what kind of questions do you want to ask when you're in an interview and trying to determine if an organization is going to be a good fit for you, right? All right, so comment below, and I will talk to you later this week when we have Selena Woods, who is a special education lawyer in our parenting group. She is going to be talking about special education law in this current uncertain political environment. All right. And again, message below if you want information on that. We can get you signed up to be in the room with her, the Zoom room with her, and ask questions. Or it's also going to be piped into the parenting group so that you can watch it afterwards if 12 noon on Thursday does not work for you. Be well all. Bye.